What's good, homies? We are the Small Hat crew. Today it is Small Hat Chris, Brandon, and Nick. Small Hat Brandon, because I know you get touchy about that if I don't throw that small hat on you. And then Peepo Hat Nick. But today we are reviewing some well past due cards that we should have gotten on a good minute ago. We are well behind, but we're getting caught up. That's why we're here today. So
you want to tell them whose fault it was that we got so behind?
Whose fault was it?
Nick's.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck you. God, letting us get behind.
Real and true.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start with Belo Betty. Red character, 1 cost, 2000 power, Rev Army, 1000 counter. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Revolutionary Army, type card other than Belo Betty and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is just your generic Nami. This is your searcher for Revolutionary. The fact that one of the first cards are getting rebuilt for them is a Nami.
Yeah, imagine getting your Nami in your same set. Like, Dofi isn't getting his Nami until set later. Why wouldn't it take fucking Animal Kingdom to get their searcher set 4? Jesus Christ.
That fault.
And it's
exactly. Yeah.
So I like the card, and I don't know if this part will matter, but it is important to note that it doesn't stay a red Revolutionary Army type, since it is a red and yellow deck. So far, I don't think we've seen any yellow Revolutionary Army, but just kind of good thing to do.
This also works in black. This also works in black red Sabo to grab black Sabo.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I was gonna say none of the Namis are locked to a specific color. They're all generic. You know, we have our original Nami. They can grab any. We have our new searcher. We have the one for the Animal Kingdom pirates. Yeah, all of the on play 2K 1 cost, they're all just generic.
It baffles me that red keeps getting like these type of searchers while the other colors get 2-drop searchers.
What do you mean red has
it's
a
just so
2-drop
funny
searcher?
to me that
It grabs other searchers.
That grabs the 1-drop searchers. I hate it.
Yeah. Well, no, didn't the one that flopped though? Isn't there an Alabasta one that's 2 cost? 2 cost 3K, I think, and it taps.
Yeah, it's really awful. It's I forgot the dude's name that ran around with Miss All Sunday.
I don't expect you, considering
poofy haircut.
VV never did anything, he never saw play, so I mean, but yeah, it's crazy. It's like one of the very first cards revealed was their searcher. There's no like, because a lot of the other guys too, like when we were doing Don Quixote, for example, it was like, if they get a searcher, this changes everything. There's like a lot of archetypes that we review where it's we have to consider whether or not they're going to get one, because that just affects consistency and whether it's viable or not, just things like that. And that's not a question for Revolutionary Army. We just know off rip that they are getting that, because their first 2 cards revealed immediately were amazing. So that's the first card. She's a searcher, Revolutionary Army. I think she's an obvious 5 out of 5, because you don't really go wrong with a generic.
Especially with
the leader, Belo Betty can trash a card, make this a 5K swinger.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah. So this. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, and there's like you pitch her. You can pitch her for the pump. You can pitch whatever she picks up to pump her. Like, it's great. It's all good. So then it sounds like we're all 5s on that, so we'll move on to our next character then, and that's gonna be Koala. And Koala,
not even a koala. That's a fucking human.
Check your eyes.
You're right.
Does this look like a human to you? Yeah, that's what I thought. She's Japanese. Koala, red character, 2 cost, 3000 power, strike, Rev Army, 2K counter. On play, if your leader has the type Revolutionary Army, give up to your one of your opponent's characters minus 3000 for the turn.
This is an on-play Gordon
Revolutionary
with a 2K
Army
counter.
has a Gordon that is a 2K counter that is searchable. That is also 3K, so if you pump it, it becomes a 6K. This card's insane. This card is actually insane. I'm gonna. It's crazy because I already gave one 5.
Oh, absolutely.
It is
a 4 in every Revolutionary Army deck.
I think, because the only thing that you take away from it is that, your leader needs to be Rev Army, but within that deck, this is probably the strongest 2K in the game.
We have 2 Revolutionary Army leaders as well, between Belo Betty and Sabo.
Yeah, no, this card is insane. Literally, Gordon being searchable is so dumb. I was messing around with red purple film law, and being able to search out Gordon in there is already really good. And he's not a 2K.
What I will say is that I'm glad that we're seeing the Revolutionary Army cards being leader locked like this, or else we would just see like a Revolutionary Army Zoro build, and I don't think anybody wants that. So yes, in Revolutionary Army it's a 5 out of 5, but it is leader
unplayable
locked.
anywhere else.
Very, very happy about.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that it's unplayable anywhere else. If for whatever reason, yeah, see, because if for whatever reason a right deck wants to play the Rev Army package, which I could see considering some of the cards we're going to see later on, they just seem to be generically good. She'd still just be a searchable 2K. Like, this is just gonna be a good package. It really looks like it. Bartholomew Kuma. Red, 2 cost, 2,000 power, strike, 7 warlords and Rev Army, counter 1,000. On play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 2,000 or less. Trigger. If your leader is mixed color, play this card.
Racist.
Valid.
Well, no, it's inclusive.
I don't really like it.
Me either. I'm not a fan of it either.
I think it's
like
on
it.
flavor for the deck.
I was about to say, like, it's a Rev Army and trigger card you can discard for leader. That's searchable.
Yeah, the trigger I don't see happening too often. Rather like, you know, KOing something with power of 2k or less, so if it's on your opponent's turn, realistically, you don't lower anything. It is still like a body that can just come out of life and be a 5k. So honestly, not the worst, not the greatest.
It's basically just a worse Vista. Considering like what we're gonna see later on, it's like if this deck's running like Round Table, for example. I mean, that is always 6 Dawn, remove anything from the field. But yeah, I don't know. There isn't really much to be said about it. It's just I don't like that it's 2K. If it was a 3K, I think.
I think with this stat line, it should have also been
because you have
a
to take
2K
into
counter.
consider. That'd be a strong 2K. I don't know about that.
Yeah, but most of your 2Ks would be cards that you actually want to play as well, so more but less in the day.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I can see it being used, but not like great. Maybe even a 2. I'll say a 2.
I would say we've only seen a few we've seen 5 Revolutionary Army cards. This is by far, I think, the worst of them, but it's still not a bad card. It's a searchable on play KO card, and you have in archetype ways to lower power.
Yeah,
I think
I don't know about at least a 3. I think it just is a 3. Because I also kind of look at it like, for the most part. Well, then again, because I was gonna say, because like Vista stopped seeing play for a minute, and Vista hits a whole 1,000 higher, but I don't know. Because Marco also hits the same threshold, and Marco's just one of the best cards.
Oh no, just from what I'm seeing, this deck seems like it's just a dual color Zoro. Like you get these early game bodies out on the board, like this is a trigger, come out of life, and then all of a sudden they're all 5Ks and 6Ks. Exactly what the deck's gonna do, which is kind of disappointing.
I think I still think he's a good card. I think he is a 3. Considering, because it's like he only hits 2K, but then also like, you know, their 2K is a Gordon, you know, and it's searchable. They're just both searchable. He is a card you can discard to pump your other guys, and like if you're putting him on the board, you know, he's serving a purpose. He's popping something, and then, you know, I don't know. He definitely, I think he could definitely be better. I think he's just kind of subpar, but I think he's just like a 3.
Second to last Revolution Army card we have would be fucking Ivankov.
No, it's Emporio Ivankov.
Yep, 4 Dawn, 5K, 1,000 counter, red character, Rev Army, Emporio Ivankov. Activate main once per turn. If this character has 7,000 power or more, play up to 1 Rev Army type character other than Ivankov with power of 5,000 or less.
Good.
This card. So you attach
or
2
you
Dawn
use
to
leader
it.
ability and pump
Leader
it.
ability, yeah.
Oh,
and then
that's
it's not even like
right.
rested. And then if it was rest, this card, it would be trash. But From what I can see so far, this is just making assumptions. This definitely seems like a deck that's gonna go like balls to the wall and run out of gas. I think it's going to lose hard to removal, decks that are really good at removal, but like, for example, where yellow's at right now, with no removal, this would fucking stomp all over it.
Yeah, I think this deck is literally just going to be Zoro 2.0.
Yeah,
this is Zoro adjusted for power creep, and that's not something Zoro needed done to him.
Zoro with access to yellow does not seem fun.
I forgot this deck has access to yellow. I don't even know what fucking yellow cards it plays.
So did I, actually.
Fuck it, it plays a Nell, I guess.
There's a need.
Oh god, it gets a rush. Ooh.
7/7 Nell rush. For later though.
4 Dawn.
Yeah.
So you pay 4, pitch a card off later, pump everything on your board, and then Ivankov's able to play another card from your hand. That's what, 4 or less? Or no,
it plays a 5k
or
or
5k
less.
power.
If
plus.
we see any revolutionary army that's like a 5k with rush, this card gets exponentially better. And even without it, it's still a good card. Like a rush or a blocker makes this card insane.
Yeah, it's funny because it's just like a better version of the one in blue.
Oh yeah.
Because isn't blue blue's called
7 Dawn.
Damn, if this could play a 6k from hand,
and
this could
then
shoot out Sabo.
doesn't have counter either. Yeah. I think this card's like
I'd say 3.5 for now.
a 3.5. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I said too. So, yeah, I think that's a perfectly valid number.
Yeah, I can agree with it. About a 3.5. I think right now, like on paper, without seeing the rest of the Revolutionary Army, I'd say a solid 3, but I'd say it has the potential to be a 4, depending on the cards that we see.
I mean, because Bandai's making it very, very apparent they're not gonna hold back on the Revolutionary Army archetype. So I'm sure he'll get good targets. I can't imagine them not catering to red. Because especially when you take into consideration, the very next card we're gonna look at here is going to be Sabo, red character, 6 cost, 7,000 power, Rev Army, no counter. On play, kill up to 2 characters with a combined power of 4,000 or less. So this card, it counters. It's an answer to red. Red got the answer to red.
This card also blows Outlaw.
Yeah. Because this card, it just eats it. Because the majority of our red decks, and assuming the meta, is still somewhat resembling what we know of at the moment, it's Zoro, it's Law, and it's Whitebeard. Zoro and Law die to this. This card is the answer to red establishing a board of little tiny bodies. And it's funny because a lot of other colors wanted would have wanted an answer to red, but Bandai's just like, we'll give it to red. We'll let red have the best shot at beating itself. It's so this card comboed with Round Table. I'll let you take it.
So your opponent has I like your example from earlier better actually. So if they have a pudding, the 1-drop searcher on board, and a 12 cost Big Mom on board, I round table that pudding. I play this. I'm KOing both their 12k Big Mom and the pudding. Yeah.
Round Table on random little garbage on the board. It just turns this Sabo, and it's a 10 Dawn play.
But it's worth it.
But he removes threats. He removes.
Actually, you don't even have to do it on
threats.
I just realized you don't have to put it on the Nami. You can put it on the Big Mom because it brings her down to 2k, so it's still in Sabo's range.
But
oh yeah, even
like
then.
To explain the example better, let's say they have 2 7Ks on the board. Round Table will bring one of those 7Ks to a -3k, and then -3k and the other 7k is a 4k. You can pop 2 7Ks. That's an example to show how combo dumb this card can be. I don't think that, to be honest, on paper, I think it's a good card. It is a combo piece. I like that it doesn't do anything super stupid on its own.
Well, even on its own.
Yeah, I mean, 4,000 power or less with 6 Dawn, let's be fair, you can do something a lot more by itself. It's a combo piece, but I like it.
I think it's one of those things where it's better as a combo piece, but I think it's still a perfectly valid card on its own, because you have to take into consideration, even if you don't spread it, this card is still
KO
essentially
4K,
just a
yeah.
bigger Marco. It's 6 on 4K.
So it's KO
It's just a
up to
good
2
card.
characters, the combined power of 4 characters.
Yeah,
and
up
just
to 2.
KO 1.
It's just a bigger Marco. And you know, there's like the round table high roll to kill like giant things on the board, but then also there's just, if you take into consideration their 2K, this thing kills 7Ks for 8 Dawn. It's leaving behind a 7K body of the magic number in the process. It's just, and then it's searchable. It's just it's a searchable card. Like, I don't know. I think this card is very, very good, because also it's like, if you do kill one thing with it, you know, you're killing a 4K. If you do, the fact that it gives you the choice to split is really, really good. And it's like, it's kind of fulfilling the same purpose as 7-drop King without the Dawn minus. It's the same like body, like it's still 7K, and it costs
Also, he's
less.
not leader locked.
Right. So, and I guess what I was trying to say was, this card isn't a combo piece. It's a good card by itself, but it's exponentially better with your combo piece.
Yeah.
And
No, I
yeah,
agree
so
100%.
by itself, it's nothing insane. It's a good card, but it gets nutty with the Revolutionary Army, how we can already see they are just going to cripple power like Red already does. So, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this card has the potential to be really gross, and has the potential to do some big blowouts, because essentially, this card becomes like a better version of like the Fire Fist event, because you can get blown out by Fire Fist, and I think this is just like a more reliable way to do that and establish the body in the process.
I'd give it 3.5,
Yeah.
3.75.
I just said a 4.
I think it's a 4 also. I think this card's a 4. Was that it for all the Rev Army cards? All right, well then I guess we'll go ahead and call it for this one. Anything we need to say before we close this one
That's
out?
5 Rev Army cards, and like almost all of them are good. I think both. And again, a lot of the times we're taking, you know, Belo Betty as the leader to look into, but I think Sabo is highly undervalued, because he gets access to Black Sabo as well as other just generically good black cards, and he protects those big cards as well by just giving them minus 1k power. I think Rev Army is looking real good.
It's looking real. The fact that 6-drop Sabo becomes a 10k off Belo Betty is insane. Oh my god, this deck is gonna be so stupid. All the cards look so promising. If Belo Betty doesn't end up being like an insanely good leader,
I was gonna say, like,
because it's like you have to take it into consideration too. It's like,
no, I was
what
gonna
was
say too, because the leader has access to yellow. I can't think of a single.
exactly, that's what
like-
I was just going to say, because she already sounds so solid and promising, and this is just off of the cards intended for her to play. This isn't mentioning access to yellow
The 2
cards,
cost
and then
5K
also there's just a
counter
bunch of new yellow stuff. Yeah, there's just a bunch of yellow stuff that has yet to be revealed for NL, and who knows if he'll give her more moving pieces that, you know, they want to incorporate into the deck. So yeah, that's essentially it for that one. We'll go ahead and God, and we still haven't talked about it's because we're reviewing the Revolutionary Army cards. Meanwhile, there's a whole leader that was revealed way before them, and we just haven't touched on him at all. Next video though. Until next time though, before I close it out, because I don't want to cut anybody off.
What is it?
All right, until next time,
See
we'll
ya.
see you guys.